All right, welcome to the relationship show. This woman writes this post. I told my husband that he needs to prioritize his health, but it ended with him feeling like crap. For the last few months, so she's 28, her husband's 27. She says, I've been feeling some type of way on how my husband doesn't take care of himself. Some may see this as controversial, but we made a promise to each other that we'd hold each other accountable if we were letting ourselves go. That's nice, but it's like sometimes, well, really oftentimes, guys don't like to be told what to do, especially by, their wives or by women. It's like they don't really like to be controlled or criticized. So just be careful on doing this, even if you came to an agreement. Sometimes it is for accountability. Sometimes it's better to have self-accountability or have some kind of third-party accountability, because it's like you can just create conflict. So it's like in your situation, if he fails and doesn't follow through in accountability, then it's like, well, you feel like he's letting you down. And then on the other side, if you keep up with the goal and he doesn't feel that great about himself because he basically gave up. And when people give up on things, well, it's like they start to resent things. And then on top of that, if you're trying to control him, if you look at the 3 C's of masculinity, the 3 biggest pain points with masculine people is it's being controlled, criticized, and closed when the woman's closed off to them. But controlled and criticized, if you're coming to him with this attitude, that's going to stack onto his like resentment. So it's very difficult. Just be really careful navigating these sorts of things. So let's see. I know looks are not everything, but the physical is part of why we're attracted to each other. On top of that, I want to continue living an active lifestyle and not let our health get in the way. Today, I gave him a heads up that I'd like to talk to him about our health and fitness goals, which gave him time to think about the topic while driving home. But is he thinking in the right attitude? Like, yeah, you set this up, but what's he thinking about? You gave him time to think, but he might be thinking, I was like, oh shit, now I'm going to get fucking lectured because I'm not doing what she says, and now she's going to tell me what to do. And it's like, fuck, dude, I work all the time, or I got all this stuff I do at night, and, I'm busy doing that shit, and this isn't a priority. And now I get to go home, and now I get to go get lectured. Now I get told that I'm doing everything wrong. It's like, that's probably what he's thinking. It's probably not your intent. But the reality is, it's like when people don't feel like they are up to like a standard, or they feel like they're giving up, or they're not doing well, it's like they don't really want to be told what to do in most cases, unless you navigate it in an effective way. But how you presented this probably didn't have the effectiveness, and that's probably why you are writing this post, because it didn't work out. I laid it on him that it's very important that we take our health seriously, since we plan on having a little one in about 2 years or less. So you're setting the rules, you're setting the terms on what he needs to do. And that it's a bit concerning that he doesn't really care about his health, but I'm expecting to maintain myself. I.e., he smokes, drinks 2 to 3 beers a day, eats out most days, doesn't work out, sleeps very little hours because he's on his computer till late hours of the night, and I have to schedule all our doctor's appointments and practically drag him because he doesn't see the need of seeing a doctor. And so you're forcing him to do things that he doesn't want to do, or at least you're not acknowledging him, or you're saying like everything he's doing is wrong, or it's like maybe just look at like why he's drinking the beers so much, or why he's smoking, or why he's up all night doing these things. Maybe just acknowledge him, because at the end of the day, guys want to be successful. They want to be acknowledged. And if you can give him that acknowledgement and start noticing things that he's doing right, not the things that he's doing wrong, often when you do that, oftentimes it has a complete shift in his really attitude towards himself, towards the relationship. If he feels like he is succeeding and you give him a reputation to live up to that is, successful, then what you'll see is like he'll match that reputation. He'll put in the work and the effort to match that reputation. Or when he feels good and feels succeeding, it's like he'll do things that will benefit the relationship. He got upset and started having a victim complex. And so what's your perception of him right now? It's like you're looking down on him. And you can feel that. It seems like you got your shit together. You seem to be kind of like a strong woman. Maybe, I'm sure you're very feminine, and a lot of women are, but sometimes like those strong, controlling women sometimes can be perceived as being masculine and trying to take control of things. And like you're planning the situations, you're planning the doctor's appointments, you're trying to hold him accountable, you're doing all these things. Typically they're like kind of masculine. And so it's just check yourself on that and just kind of realize and kind of look from his perspective on what he's feeling, not necessarily just what you're feeling, and he needs to step his game up. Feeling like he's having an intervention, and and that he now feels like crap and disgusting. But I reassured him that I wasn't trying to make him feel this way. But you did. Was there a better way to express my concerns without having him feel less than? Don't try to tell guys what to do, and don't criticize them. Don't think you need to have this intervention or this talk, have this huge deal, and then say, hey, you're not basically doing what I say. It's like, from a feminine perspective, you probably just want to start with acknowledging the success he does. Or what you could do is like bring up a past picture when he was in shape, when he looked great, when he was like something like you ideally want in a guy, or something where he was really healthy, and show him a picture. Hey, do you remember this time? And then hand it like, man, you looked great then, or something like that. It's like, with guys, they can respond well to challenges and stuff, but oftentimes when it's among other guys. And so it's like him with his buddies, they might bullshit, they might challenge each other, they might compete with each other. But then it's like sometimes a different dynamic when it's your woman competing with you, or your woman controlling you or telling you what to do. And so just be very careful on that and really navigate that with really a tactfulness if you can. She has a couple edits on here. She says, for context, I take care of the household chores, work full time, and I'm currently going to school to be a chef specializing in plant-based cooking. I don't mind what I do for our little family. I just want him to live long enough to enjoy this life with me. Still, it's kind of directed at controlling him in how he lives his life. Edit number 2. Many have mentioned he might be depressed, which I think about yesterday. Yes, but don't necessarily just put it on him. And so it's like, if you're just putting it on him saying, oh, well, this isn't working because he's depressed, it's like still putting him down. And you've been doing that commonly. It's just like looking down on him. And so, man, you really have to build him up, not bring him down or shame him or compete with him or criticize him. Once he gets home today, I'll find out if he's mentally okay and how I can help. That's a bad move. God, it's another confrontation, which is really oftentimes like a masculine thing. It's like, if you're always confronting him, it's like, man, you're just linking more pain and stacking more pain to everything in his life. And so it's like, what you're doing right now is you are just punishing this guy. So it's like every single thing he does is wrong in your eyes. And that's what he's feeling right now. And so now when he gets home, you're going to go home to him and it's like, I know you've been depressed. You need to stop this right now. That's kind of how the attitude that I'm getting, the vibe I'm getting right here. And that is not going to work. All that's going to do is just put him down more and make it more difficult. And then what's going to happen is like, you're going to say, oh, well, he's just weak. It's like, fuck, dude. It's like, yeah, maybe he is going through a weak time right now. Maybe this chapter in his life is weak. But when you put him down like this and you thinking you have to control him and criticize him and hold him accountable, that doesn't help him. That doesn't help him get up. It just pushes him down when he's trying to step up. Third edit. My husband is in his office crying and I'm not sure what else to do. Shit. So, oh my gosh. So this is my first time reading these edits here. But so yeah, she went and did that. And then what happens? It's like it fucking destroyed him. Yes, he probably shouldn't be that caught up, and he probably is going through some difficult times, especially if he's taking this so personally that he's crying over it. But really, you got to recognize what your actions are causing this person right now. And it's not a feminine way to go, and it does not make him feel comfortable, and it does not help him be more in his masculine and toughen him up. It just basically shoves him while he's down. And I'm not sure what else to do. I asked him if there's something deeper going on. You're still looking for his problems. You're not trying to make him feel good or make him feel successful. You're saying how shitty he is. And he didn't want to talk about it. That I didn't say or do anything wrong. I asked if I could help him with the transition, but he wants to do it on his only. So now you're forcing him to change. So I'm assuming that your transition here, his transition is you thinking he has to get out of this depression. He has to change his body. He has to change drinking. He has to change going to bed late at night. And it seems like he's just shamed enough that he's going to take action out of that. But what are the chances of him maintaining that? It's like, what are the chances of anyone maintaining, consistency when they're just faced with painful experiences to the point where they are alone crying? You might force this guy to maybe go to the gym once, but then he'll probably never do that again. And he's probably going to have strong resentments towards you. I want to go and comfort him, but he locked the door and is crying. I'm at a loss. I know you don't mean to do this. I know you don't mean to shame him, put him down, but you are. You're not helping the situation. You're not communicating in an effective way. You're not understanding that men, their biggest pain points are being criticized, controlled, and when their woman's closed off, meaning they won't express how they're feeling themselves. And right now, you are acting in your masculine energy. You're acting like a dude who is like putting someone down. But a dude doing this, it's like has a different perspective. It just is what it is. But it's like if their buddies are saying, hey, you're fucking fat, why don't you go to the gym, fat boy, or something like that? But it's like, it can be offensive, but it's like guys take that as a challenge. And it's like, well, I'll show him, versus when their woman does that, which you're doing, it comes across as you are a failure in this relationship and you are not good enough. And that's really what he's feeling. Probably a few other emotions, but that seems to be, from this post, what he's going through right now. And so to change that, man, you have to open up to him, and you can't put him down, and you have to acknowledge every success he does and make him feel like a success. One of the biggest things you can say to a guy to turn his life around is thank you for supporting this family, or you are a good husband. That simple. And something that simple can be the thing that really turns the entire relationship around, because guys want to feel like they are succeeding and they are successful in taking care of the family.